Right guys, welcome back to the GolfMagic YouTube channel, the #1 place for reviews, comparisons, 300-yard drives and much, much more. Today you join me at King's Golf in East Grinstead, where I'm going to be reviewing the brand new TaylorMade Stealth fairway woods. If you haven't seen our initial review of the drivers, we were very, very impressed. Let's see if the fairway woods can actually keep up with the drivers. So the Stealth fairway woods, the era of the carbon wood. I was initially quite surprised because the carbon wood era isn't in the fairway woods, mainly just for the drivers. These do not have the red carbon face. You may have been as confused as I was when I was talking to TaylorMade about it, but the reason behind it, quite simply, is there's no real benefits so far to put the carbon face in the fairway woods. I'm positive they will be in future iterations, but right now they're much more focused on other parts of the actual club itself. There are two fairway woods. I've got the Stealth Plus and the Stealth with me today. And as I said, with the Stealth lineup, the Stealth Plus is more like the Stealth Plus driver. It's got the adjustability, but it's a little bit different to the Stealth. It's more of a mid to high launching low spin, whereas the actual Stealth is more that high launching mid spin. So more forgiving is the Stealth model. The Stealth Plus a little bit lower ball flight, probably for those tour players. And they do have a little bit different in technology. With the Stealth Plus, you've got this 80-gram sole plate here that isn't uncommon. You've had that in previous iterations, but they've re-engineered it for some turf interaction and more forgiveness. In comparison to the actual Stealth, doesn't have this, but it does have other pieces of technology that the Stealth Plus does have. The main thing they talk about in the Stealth is that 3D carbon crown. It actually now brings it more round to the sole of the club as well. So there is more carbon in the Stealth, it's just not on the face. This is because the fairway woods, they do offer, and they're not the same technology as drivers, so they're more focusing on the different types of CG placement, the higher MOI, and really making sure this club is as forgiving as possible. I'm gonna hit both today. As I've said in other videos, fairway woods, they're more of like a personal preference, I feel. I can get tons and tons of data. I'm still gonna give you guys some data, but I think it's more down to how it looks and how it feels, because they are all gonna get pretty similar data to each other, brand to brand. I'm gonna hit the Stealth Plus first. I reckon this is gonna be a real low spinning bomber. I've got the right shaft in it as well, so I'm really interested to see how this performs. I've loaded the TrackMan up here on the 18th at St Andrews, so I can just see some numbers and see how accurate I am as well. I'm really excited to try this Stealth Plus out, because in all honesty, I still do not have a fairway wood in the bag for myself. I think it's very difficult to get one consistently, especially as I do have the opportunity to try so many out. I did dabble with the Sim 2 last year, the TI version, but it was a little bit too spinny for my liking, and I think you kind of have to make a choice if you are going to use a driving iron or not. I always use a driving iron. I'm a lot more consistent with it, and I do have the odd 60, 70 yard hook in my locker with a fairway wood, but hopefully with the Stealth Plus and the Stealth, I won't have that. Just looking down at the Stealth, it is a very nice club. I love the advanced laser alignment that I have put in each club, which I'll point out to you there. It's right down by the face. I would like it to be a little bit more of a matte finish. That's down to a personal preference, not down to any sort of technology, but I do think the age of the matte finishes on the crown of the club should be a little bit more throughout every single brand. I just don't really like how shiny it looks when you're looking at some direct sunlight, but that's just me being very, very picky. But it sits really, really nicely. It does have a bigger face, so it is going to be more forgiving than previous models. But how far will it actually go? Let's find out. Good start there. It was closer than we thought, wasn't it, guys? It was a lot closer than we thought there for out of bounds, but again, I will say that was caught a little bit high on the face. As you can see by those numbers there, with 160 mile an hour ball speed, I can definitely get that up to 170. But when you're looking at the other numbers, for it to carry 270 with smash 1.47 and spin super, super low. Okay, so this is gonna be a club that you're gonna get the longest distance out of. This practically could get similar numbers to my driver here, my previous driver in 2021, because although I didn't swing that very fast at only 110, to roll out to I think it was about 290 is pretty decent. And there we go. It just needs to stay there because I know I hit a little bit of a fade. Almost identical to the last one, but if you look at that, at the ball speed at 169, which is very, very strong for a 3-wood, at total at 307, we'll take that one, won't we? A very, very good numbers there. You can tell this is a low spinning one. And although it's not supposed to be the most forgiving model, if you're looking at those two shots, they're almost identical to each other. That's not bad at all, is it? So we'll keep it going. We'll keep it going because it's looking like that spin is still very low, and it is a club that is one that I'd almost think it's purely a tee shot extraordinaire kind of club, because a lot of PGA Tour players nowadays are looking for a 3-wood or a fairway wood that is going to land softly. They're coming in high with a really high apex and kind of dropping it on the green. There are different situations when they don't need that, but they want to kind of carry it to 80 and just drop dead. Us amateurs don't really want that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we want that as much. We're not PGA Tour players. We would want it to roll out a little bit. So this could be good for us, but I reckon for the PGA Tour players, they will definitely change the setup of this to make it a little bit higher launch and maybe spin a bit more. Because they don't really want a 3-wood to go, let's say 300 yards or so. They would rather have it go 270 and land like a dime. That was interesting because that, again, wasn't the best strike in the world for that one. But that went 166 ball speed. So I'm really impressed by, and this isn't news or anything. This isn't some revolutionary technology, because you can see that the twist face is working still. I'm not hitting those out of the middle every single time, but I'm getting smash of 1.47. It hasn't dropped below 1.47. And then to carry it 263 and roll an extra 20 yards is pretty good. The spin is too low. I will happily just say that now, but that's not just down to the club head itself. We always got to remember when we look at that spin rate, we've got the spin rate from this and this as well, and the golf ball. So that's an easy fix to make sure it's not as low as that, because the lower the spin rate, the less forgiving the club gets. So it'll be really interesting to see how the Stealth, the more forgiving, higher spinning, higher launch model does. And again, I've actually hit one out of bounds on the widest fairway in the world. I need to stop aiming there. There we go. If I aim left, it's actually a good shot, and just let the fade come round. Very good numbers there at 170 ball speed. I'm never going to complain about that. That's almost driver ball speed a year ago. But looking at that total of 300 yards, we're never going to complain about that, are we, guys? This is a low spinning bomber, but would I actually recommend it to really anyone watching this video? Right now, I don't think so, because it's just a little bit too low spinning. And I think the Stealth, with a little bit probably higher launch and higher spin, is the one we should focus on. So I'm gonna switch over to the Stealth now, and we can see what the difference is. So the Stealth, I'm actually a really, really big fan of. It's slightly bigger in CCs, and you can actually quite significantly tell that it is bigger than the Stealth Plus. Just looking down at both, you can see that it is just slightly elongated, so a lot more forgiving just looking down at it already. I wouldn't have said that the Stealth Plus isn't forgiving, but now I can compare it against the two. My eyes are instantly drawn to the Stealth. Again, with the advanced laser alignment and everything, it is a very nice club to look at, and I imagine it'll perform quite well. It's got a fixed hosel, so it's not adjustable, which isn't a problem. I would rather every single 3-wood be adjustable, but that's just me being picky. I've changed the hole to the 14th, that's St Andrews. We're gonna hit a few shots on the tee, then a few shots on the fairway, and just see the numbers in comparison to the Stealth Plus and how forgiving it really is. Yeah, I'm hitting identical shots. I really should be aiming right, but it's pretty scary because it's out of bounds there. So numbers in terms of the base numbers of ball speed and everything are very, very similar, as you can see at about 168 climbing up to 170. But the spin rate going slightly higher means that it's going to just fall a little bit softer on the ground. It may not go as far, but it won't run out as much, but it's going to make it a little bit more forgiving. Let's hit now over to the left fairway with that draw that I'm getting. Yeah, that one was really good there. If I can actually reach that left fairway. Yeah, there we go. So that's a really good shot. Probably my best actually of this session. A very piercing ball flight there, a little bit higher. I don't think the spin will probably stay pretty similar. Yep, so it looks like this one is about 400 to 500 RPM higher. The launch angle seems to be pretty similar as well. All a bit too low, if I'm being honest, but that's just down to how I'm hitting it. Let's just hit one more, then move on to a fairway shot. Little bit out of the heel on that one, and that's why it's going a little bit right. Just catches in the rough. Not a bad shot at all there. And I think you'll see the spin climb up a little bit on that one as well, to about 2,500. So you can see there is a slight difference between these two. This one's a little bit more forgiving. The feel is exactly the same, but it's just that slight spin rate, a slightly higher launch. That will mean that the Stealth is definitely a lot more suited to us amateur golfers than the Stealth Plus. And not a lot of us will really need the Stealth Plus. I know when we go down into the low handicaps with people who hit it a little bit faster, perhaps the Stealth Plus is the one for you. The majority of people watching this video, it will just be the Stealth. Let's see if I can reach the green 2 on this hole. Let's move it down a little bit and see how I get on. Just over faded it, that one. But we got the yardage there. We've definitely got the right club for it, so let's keep it going and maybe just hit it completely straight. See those numbers there are still, spins a little bit too low, but for the yardage there, it's gonna run up, so a few more. That was struck so badly, so props to this, this club there. That was so out of the toe, but we've ended up in actually a pretty good spot. That looks quite good, I think. Spin, you can tell by that flight, spin's gone up a little bit. That is more or less the perfect shot there. I'll be interested to see those numbers, carrying it about 260 or so. You can see spins climbing up finally. Really, really good numbers. More or less bang on what this club would be. It's good to see it climb up now once I'm hitting it a little bit better in terms of an angle of attack. This is now off. I'm not teeing this up at all. But that feels really solid, really springy off the face there. And that one's a little bit of a lower flight. You can see that ball speed really picked up. I may catch a piece of the green. Yeah, really good shot there. That spin's gonna be a lot lower, as you can tell by that rollout, but that's a really good shot, going total of 304 yards off the fairway. Spin's still at a pretty good place, but if you look at the smash there, I can't really hit it that much better. So I'm really, really impressed with this Stealth over the Stealth Plus. Let's hit one more and then give my final thoughts. Oh, I didn't strike that as good as I could. But if it gets a good bounce, there we go. Safely on the green. We've got a good eagle putt there from 290 yards. I think most PGA Tour players will take that. Be interested to see those numbers. Yeah, you really can't fault that for a fairway wood, guys. If you look at those numbers there, pretty much bang on. Happy to see the spin go up now for the shots off the fairway. Kind of makes sense because I do hit my fairway wood like a driver off the tee. Really, really impressed with those numbers. And now it's time to give my final thoughts. So guys, I think you can tell here at Kings Golf, I think there is a standalone winner between these two fairway woods. I think for a lot of people watching, the Stealth, not the Stealth Plus, is the exact club to go to if you're looking to get a fairway wood in 2022. The Stealth Plus is a very, very good model, but we all can do with a little bit more spin out of our fairway woods to make sure that it's a little bit more forgiving. I do feel that the Stealth is more forgiving than the actual Stealth Plus. That is down to the technology, but also when you're looking at just the size of it as well, it really is a confidence-inspiring club, and I think it may be hard to beat in 2022. I'm heavily considering putting the Stealth in my bag just because it does feel very comfortable in my hands, and to be able to hit some of those shots that I hit today that you guys saw, I'm very, very impressed by it. As always here at GolfMagic, if you are considering getting any new club, especially a fairway wood, especially get custom fitted. If you could see back there, the difference between the Stealth and the Stealth Plus, they are different shafts in them. And you can see I was hitting one with a draw and I was hitting one with a fade. One was high spin and one was low spin. Yes, that's down to the club head, but shafts play a big, big part. So here, if you're watching this video, get custom fitted if you're going to buy a new Stealth club, because it will drastically improve your game more than buying it off the rack. If you've enjoyed this video today, make sure you leave a like down below, and if you have any questions, make sure you leave a comment too, because I'll be sure to answer all of them. If you are new to GolfMagic, hit the subscribe button down below as well, because we've got a lot more very exciting videos, reviews, comparisons coming over the next few months, and you guys do not want to miss them. Until the next video, guys, I'll see you later.